Hey everyone, welcome to HDpiano. This is Joe. Today we are learning a great piece of music. This is one of the most quintessentially sort of English pieces of music. When pop music is mentioned, I often think of this band and Britishness. It's Madness. And this is Our House, and this is absolutely great. It's the intro and first and second verses. Here we go. 3, 4. And that's where we'll leave it, because that's the chorus and our next video. Okay, what a lot of fun that is. Great video as well. They go around just asking random strangers in some London street somewhere, "Do you know where my house is? Do you know our house? Do you know our house?" And these people look so bemused. It's brilliant. It's like, oh, that was once a pop video. Probably don't make them like that anymore. Or maybe they do. This is middle C, and the piece is in the key of C. Although there's lots of stuff going on with the harmony which suggests we don't really stay in C. For example, I actually think we might be in what's called the key of, or the mode of C mixolydian for a large chunk of this intro and verse. And then a bit later on, videos we'll see next, it changes even more so. But let's not worry too much about that, because that's a bit advanced for now. Instead, I'm going to try and sort of like offer you some sort of simple way of playing this, but there isn't really much I can do. I think the best way to play this piece of music is to absolutely nail the rhythm. So this rhythm here, 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and. That carries on throughout the piece of music. We also have like the choruses and the transitions and the instrumental interludes and bridges that are slightly different. Actually, the bridge doesn't contain that rhythm, but the other sections don't. But the verses, the introduction, they all do contain that rhythm. So it's worth really nailing that. And then the other bits we can sort of take as they come. So let's do the nailing of this rhythm. What we're doing is 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and. Still haven't changed that rhythm. And 2 E and 3 E and 4, and then this bar is the first place that it changes, and it changes to something very straightforward, as in just 8th note. So that again, and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now this time when I do it, at this point, if I just played 8 bars like I have just done, we would then bring in the right hand. But let's just imagine we're going back to the start of bar 5, so I'm about to do it again, and I'll talk you through the fingers this time. So we start with finger 1, 1 and 2 E and 3 E and down to finger 3, and then when we get to this beat 1, we change to finger 1. Okay, 3 E and 4, and now no finger changes for a while. We just use our hand as it's laid out. 3 E and 4, and then when we get into this bar, we go over here with finger 4, and that's very important. If you don't do that, you're gonna have a bad time. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4, and the 1 with 1 E and 3 E and 4, and so there's not really much in the way of fingering really, apart from this is very important. And then you bring in the right hand. Now, the right hand again, fairly simple. In fact, there's never really much that's too complicated in terms of, like, we're not playing massive extended chords, etc. We're playing quite simple chords, but they change key a lot. And actually, I said we're not playing massive extensions. This is probably the section that includes the largest extensions, as in that last bar that I just played. But let's just learn something about these chords, these intervals that I'm playing in the right hand. We start off on, this is now bar number 9. You've just done 8 bars of that just left hand only bass line. And then on bar number 9, you bring in this chord. Now that chord you'd call a C fifth. If you were being particularly precise, you'd call it C perfect fifth. But let's not worry about the perfect majors and minors so much. Let's just definitely think about C and then this number 5, C fifth. Because it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes apart in the scale of the lowest note, which in this case is C, you consider this to be a C fifth. It's a bit like using centimetres or inches or whatever it is you measure distance. It's just a way of measuring distance between notes, okay? And this isn't quite the depth that you can go. You can go even further with another step, but we won't bother with that. We'll just call this C fifth. 1 and 2, E and 3, E and 4 and then this one we're going to call D sixth. 1 and 2, E and 3, E and 4 and. Now remember, I could call this one C perfect fifth. This one could be called D minor sixth, because in D, the scale of D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 6th note is actually B, but in the minor scale, it's B flat, okay? That's not actually quite how you work out minor intervals, but it is, in this case, a minor 6th. Okay, so D 6th, let's not worry about the major and minor too much, I can't help myself. D 6th, 1 and 2, E and 3, E and 4 and then this one looks remarkably like the C 5th, but D's the lowest note, and guess what it's called? D 5th. Let's do all those again. So C 5th, and then D 6th, and then D 5th, and then again C 5th, D 6th, D 5th, and then again C 5th, D 6th, D 5th, and then we come to probably the hardest bar in the whole piece, which isn't that hard either, and we do that lovely section of chords. Now let's call these by their interval names or their chord names. So when we play F with finger 2 down here, we play on beat 1 F third. It's actually an F minor third, because F third is 1, 2, 3. That is the 3rd note away from F in its major scale, but in its minor scale, there, okay? So 1 and F minor third. Now this chord, call this an E minor diminished chord, because you play like an E minor chord in its root position, but you lower the 5th note, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th note by 1 semitone, 1 half step, giving you a diminished E chord. So E diminished, F third, E diminished. Now this one actually makes up the chord that's called D half diminished 7, which is like that, because A flat you put up there. So really, I mean, you could think of this as D half diminished. I don't think that's going to help many of you. Instead, just think of it as D, F and C, okay, or D minor 7 in this hand. D, F and C, or D minor 7. So F minor third, E, G, B flat makes E half diminished, oh sorry, E diminished, and then D minor 7, and then D octave, which in case you're wondering, if you play that with B flat, makes a B flat major third, because B flat's down here, and D, that's why it sounds so sweet. So F minor third, E half diminished, D minor 7, B flat third, and again F minor third, E flat 5, D7, B flat major, again F minor third, E minor flat 5, D minor minor 7, and then B flat major. One more time. And then we do this. 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and 1. So that rhythm is back. The rhythm of the bass line is back, but this time in the right hand, we're playing C major root position triads. And in the left hand, C major chords. And that's it. 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and like that. And that's it for bar 1 of our verse. And then we do this. Now remember I called this C major root position because C, E, G is a chord of C major and C is at the lowest point, so it's in its root position. Now G minor looks like this. If you put G on top, but more importantly have B flat down there, you call it first position G minor, and that's what we play in this bar. One more time with that. Then we do this. What does that look like? Does this chord look more like G minor or does it look more like C major? It looks more like C major because it's made up of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 thirds, rather than G minor was made up of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, a third and a fourth. And if the same intervals, like the C major intervals and the D minor intervals are there, it's in its root position more likely than not. And it is, it's D minor root position. And you go 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and. That's how you do that bar. Last time. And then the final bar of our 4-bar phrase is another chord that looks different to a root position shape because it's got a fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a third, 1, 2, 3, which means it's not a root position. It's actually a root position of this chord, a second inversion of this chord, because this is the root of F minor, F, A flat, C. This is the first position, A flat, C, F, and this is the second position, what we're playing here. And we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we play a nice simple bass line, running down and then back up again in the left hand on quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again. Last time. And then you, for the next 4 bars of this, you just do the same thing again. C major root position, G minor held in the right hand whilst the bass line plays G, D minor in both hands, playing the same rhythm, and then F, 2, 3, 4, and then into the chorus. Okay? And that's how it works. The introduction and first and second verse of Our House by Madness. I'll play you the... I'm not going to play you the second verse, sorry, because it's the same as verse 1. It just works on a repeat, which I'll explain in the next video. Right, let's do it again. 2, 3, 4. Chorus. All right, everybody. This piece gets better and better, by the way, and it starts well. So enjoy it. And also, it's quite fun to play along to because you can't really hear the piano much. It's so beautifully produced, this piece of music. The production is amazing. And there's so much more going on. You've got like a brass section. They're like a ska band, really, Madness. So you've got all that you'd expect in a ska band. You've got organs. You've got all sorts. And it's great. Enjoy. This has been Joe, HDpiano. Chorus is coming next. Bye now.